Welcome to S2TV, back in the kitchen with some low-carb alternatives. So yesterday we made the cauliflower fried rice. If you haven't watched that yet, definitely go back and take a peek. It's a really quick meal. The family will love it. Today we're going to do two different pasta alternatives. So the first one is a spaghetti squash, and you guys might have seen these. You're probably walking through the grocery thinking, what the heck is that weird big orange thing? This is a spaghetti squash, usually buy the butternut squash, acorn squash, and we're just going to microwave it. You can bake it or roast it, but it takes a lot longer. I typically just pop it in the microwave for about 10 minutes, and then you can easily just scrape out the inside seeds and get it out of the casing. And the second alternative are these shirataki noodles. These are made out of tofu, so it's also a great vegetarian alternative. Not a ton of protein in it, so you'd still need to supplement there. But we're going to do an Alfredo with the spaghetti squash, some chicken and veggies, and also with the shirataki noodles. So in terms of the squash, you just want to get a good sharp knife. I always just put 2 or 3 good slits in it so you can kind of get some steam inside. Right, so just be careful with your knife. This guy's not quite as ripe as I like them, but they didn't have any more at the store. So just give it about 2 or 3 big stabs there. I'm going to go ahead and go on the other side. Then we're going to pop it in the microwave just like it is for 10 minutes, and then we'll take a look at it when we're done. See you in a minute. Welcome back, guys. We have our spaghetti squash out of the microwave, and I've already kind of pre-prepped a little bit here, but just so you know, when it comes out of the microwave, obviously it'll still be whole, okay? I just cut the end off to make it easier and then just slice it long ways in half, so you've got 2 halves. This one you can see I've already emptied out, but what's so cool, when you take it out, look, it just strings out just like spaghetti. So, you know, even your kiddos might be willing to give it a try because it does kind of look like spaghetti. But just want to show you on this end, okay, it will have seeds in the middle. I just take a big spoon and I just scrape those seeds right out of there. Try to get as much as you can, and it might just take you a minute to kind of clean it out. Just toss that. And then the easiest way is to use a fork. And you'll see as you start to scrape, it just turns right into little stringy pieces. So I'm not going to finish that. We'll just use what we've got here. But you can see one squash makes a bunch. So it should feed the family, or if you have a big family, obviously you could do 2 of them. But that's the prep process for the squash. So now we're going to take this over. We're going to throw it in the skillet, heat it up, and then we have found this Classico light Alfredo sauce. So 4.5 grams. Actually, this one only has 3 grams of fat. Just check, different versions have different breakdowns. 3 fat, 4 carbs, and 1 protein in a half a cup. So you can really get a good portion of that, and it gives it that creamy texture. We doctor it up a little bit, throw some garlic, some more salt, pepper, other spices that you like in there. But we're going to take it over, get everything prepped, get everything seasoned up, and build our plate. So we'll check back in a minute once we get everything going. See you in a sec. Alright guys, so we've got our spaghetti squash, and I just threw some other fresh veggies in here. We're doing onions and bell peppers. You could certainly do some broccoli, you could do some asparagus, whatever veggies you like. It's just a good, you know, mix there to add a little bit extra fiber. So we've got that going, and now just season it. I do all kinds of different spices. You could do fresh garlic. This is just some garlic powder, oregano, basil. So I'm just going to sprinkle any kind of your Italian seasonings are going to taste good in there. Sprinkle it up. You could do fresh basil. We're just going to use dry today. Really just season it to your liking and your family's liking, salt, pepper, etc. And then we've got our Alfredo sauce going in here. Like I said, it's a little bland because it does have a reduced fat, so there's not a lot of cream and butters and things in there. I'm just going to throw a quick tablespoon of Parmesan cheese, and then just some basic salt, pepper. Again, you could do some garlic in there as well. And I've even done a can of the fire roasted diced tomatoes, just drain those, so you just have the tomatoes and throw it in, so it's more like a tomato cream sauce. And if your family doesn't like a cream sauce, let me just turn this down real quick. If your family doesn't like a cream sauce, you could always just do the canned diced tomatoes and then just doctor those up and do more of a marinara sauce. Some of those jarred and canned sauces are really high carb because they add so much sugar to them. So I usually just get the canned tomatoes and then doctor them up myself. Or if you're really crafty, you could make your own tomato sauce like my mom does, but I'm not that good. So we're gonna let this cook. I've got some grilled chicken here that we had left over. So again, a great way to use some leftovers. That's gonna be our protein. So we're gonna build our plates and then we'll come back and take a look. It is time to eat, guys. We've got our veggies cooked off here. All right, and you know, with stuff like this, again, if you're just really trying to watch your portions and carbs, you can definitely weigh this out. It's a really low carb option, so you can be pretty liberal with your serving. I'm just gonna kind of eyeball about 2 cups of spaghetti squash there. With your sauce, you probably do want to weigh it out, so I've got my measuring cup here. I'm gonna do 1/4 of a cup, so I'm just gonna pour it right in there, okay? Watch my line, pour it over my spaghetti squash. Definitely use a spatula and get all that out of there. And then you can see I've already got my chicken weighed out too. So 4 ounces cooked. That's going to be a little bit more raw, so make sure when you're logging it, you log it cooked if you're weighing it cooked. And since this is leftovers, it's already cooked. And I'm just going to put my protein right on top there. And a nice little chicken Alfredo dish for you with the spaghetti squash. Now I mentioned the shirataki noodles. Same idea here. This is a whole package. So this is what they look like. You can see they look just like fettuccine. They come in a package. You just rinse them off and drain them. Okay, just rinse them off and drain them. You don't have to do anything to them. You might want to just heat them up a little bit, get some of the moisture off, but just toss you a good portion in there. Again, they put very little impact on your total caloric intake. And then you can throw some veggies on, throw some more sauce on, and again, it will build the same meal. So these are both really good pasta alternatives. You've got your fiber and your veggies, and then your sauce and your protein. Today we're doing grilled chicken, but you could do any kind of protein option, ground beef, anything that you're up for that night. Just make sure you change the macros accordingly. So we got to give her a taste. Just gonna grab my big old fork here. I wasn't prepared. Okay, so we'll just give her a good little mix. See what we got. Oh, hot. That's really good, actually. Obviously, it doesn't taste like spaghetti. This is going to give you a much more of a pasta-y texture, but really good flavor. Definitely doctor up that sauce with a little Parmesan. It gives it a good kick. So try this at home, guys. It's really good.